Well, hello everybody. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Tennessee and I am enjoying my orchid blooms. I receive a lot of questions about bud blast. So I thought I would kind of answer some of those questions for you today and give you some ideas and some things to think about how to prevent bud blast with your orchids. The first thing you need to know is to keep the temperature around your orchids as steady and as stable as possible. Wide temperature variations around your orchids, that will cause the buds to blast, and that will also cause the blooms to fall off the plant. In general, a temperature variation of 10 to 15 degrees, cooler or warmer, can cause bud blast. So if you're going to be buying a new orchid and you go to your garden center and it's 70 degrees in your garden center and it's 40 degrees out in the parking lot where you take it to your car, all those buds are going to blast. Plus, most of the blooms are going to fall off the plant. So just be aware of that. Another factor is changes in humidity. And that's something that I'm going to talk to you kind of at length about today. I'm going to tell you some of my own experiences that I've had with bud blast so that you can kind of get a big clue as to why sometimes your buds blast even when they're not in a drafty location and even when they haven't been moved. So we're going to come back to that. Another thing you need to keep in mind is this is my kitchen display, and you'll notice I never have fruit on my kitchen table. I have the fruit on the other side of the kitchen. Just a kind of a warning, don't put fruit around your orchids. That can cause the blooms to fade and that can cause the buds to blast. Okay, so let's talk about the humidity issue. I'm going to kind of give you a brief overview of what the weather has been like the past 2 winters here in Tennessee. What's been going on is our falls have been running very, very late, like November. So my orchids have started spiking later in the year. And what happens is when winter comes, we have some warm days, warm sunny days like this. And then the cold weather will come in and just drop the temperatures 50 degrees in the course of a day. You wouldn't think that since my orchids are in that they would notice the difference, but they certainly do. It affects the humidity in my house. And even though I try to keep the humidity as constant as I possibly can, it is very difficult to keep that constant when you have a 50-degree difference in the matter of just a few days. For instance, Monday was 62 degrees and sunny. It was like a spring day. Yesterday was 28 degrees and cloudy. It was extremely cold. So I've noticed that when I have very small buds on my orchids during those times when the temperatures plummet and the humidity goes down, I've noticed that that is when my bud blast is happening more often. And I'm going to show you an example of that. This is my pretty little fowl, Soho Pearl. She's got all of these gorgeous buds on her. And do you see that the large buds are getting ready to pop open? Okay, do you see this bud on the very tip over here? Do you see how the tip of that bud is yellow? And this one as well. These tiny little buds cannot keep up with the temperature fluctuations and the humidity changes, and that's where it has been showing in my orchids. But hope always springs eternal. This is my cute little DTPS Soho Gotris Flora Arc. Okay, the same thing happened with this one right before it bloomed. It had some that were still starting to form on the tip of this spike, and these were already in bud. Here at the tip, these were just starting. I lost 2 buds on this one during the same type of a thing. It was right before that big snow we had the 1st of December. It was just like it was warm. The temperatures were in the 60s. Then all of a sudden, we turn around, they're in the 20s. But what I love about orchids is they really do want to bloom for you. Okay, they really, really do. So look here. I've got 2 new buds on the tip of this spike. So I'm going to end up with the same number of blooms on this as I would have had those buds not blasted. So that's really nice of this little plant to do for me. Don't you think so? Now this one started budding earlier in the fall, and so all of the buds made it through all those cold snaps, and this one is blooming beautifully. So I've noticed that earlier in the fall is a really good time. I really like to see the spikes form in September or October here, but as you know, they don't always spike when you want them to. And then you have some that defy the odds. This is my little Foul Soho Vivian, and she started forming buds just about a month ago, and she's been through all the humidity fluctuations that the others have. No sign of bud blast. Sometimes it really is kind of a mystery, isn't it? So right now I have 2 of my CVS ultrasonic humidifiers running in my sunroom on the days that it's very, very cold. I believe that that's going to help with the bud blast issue quite a bit. But you all ask me so often, I haven't moved my orchid. It's not in a drafty location, and what's going on? And the past 2 years, I hear where you're coming from. I understand exactly what you're saying. So I kind of hope that helps clear that mystery for you all. So I hope you all just have a fabulous sunny day and be highly favored, deeply loved, and greatly blessed. And we'll talk to you all next time.